for the opportunity to pay tribute to one of our national icons who fought and won our independence for us. But I'm convinced, and rightly so, that I'm not competent to talk about Chief Ezeife, principally because I didn't encounter him while in active service. Chief Amechi, you must know, was appointed Minister of Aviation at the age of 33 in 1962, just 1 year after I was born in 1961. So if I stand here to talk about him, I think certainly I may not be doing myself any good. But let me say that I am attracted to his records because of his early start. He started quite early in life and is in view of the fact that I too started very early. So I took time to understudy him and to learn from his experiences. For want of time, let me say that the remarkable milestones in his career include the following: a patriot who devoted his time and energy to fight for the independence of Nigeria, a nationalist who believed and stood for the unity and progress of Nigeria, a forthright nationalist who believed in the principles of justice, equity, and fairness as a foundation for a progressive society, a foremost trade unionist who fought to protect the rights and dignity of workers, an exemplary public servant who served his country with utmost commitment and dedication. Chief Amechi
Chief Ezeife, the last man standing until very recently, a member of the Sikh movement, therefore a believer in Nigeria as giant of Africa, a believer in one Nigeria, a rejecter of Igbo enslavement in Nigeria, my senior brother, my political guardian, the giant among men, fare you well and rest in the bosom of the land. My political guardian, you know the current political situation in Nigeria more than I do. Please consult with the Amazon, Nnamdi Azikiwe, Zik of Africa, and tell me what to tell the peoples of Nigeria at this critical time. Yes, okay, I should say that God created Nigeria as a gem of a country. Yes, that some countries have all kinds of minerals, and we have all of them, including new one like California. Yes, but the Chinese know more the minerals we have in Nigeria than we do. My guardian, I call you the man is bad because they call you the boy is good. What do I tell our people in the circumstance we have now? Okay, that no group in Nigeria with proper analysis of their long-term interest will enjoy the disintegration of Nigeria. No group. The long-term interest of the Fulani lies in the new Nigeria, within which they will be full citizens of Nigeria with right of indigenship. On the contrary, if Atiku, their brother, is to take over from Buhari, it means that the northerner takes over from northerner, Muslim takes over from Muslim, Fulani takes over from Fulani. The result is disintegration of Nigeria. a unifier who calls for Northerners to vote only for Northerners, not Yoruba, not Igbo, must be left alone. No. We want Fulanis in Nigeria. Their special talent adds to the many talents from many tribes of Nigeria. Dara Kumwafo, please recall that we have reached agreement with the youth of Igbo land, especially when they were reacting to what looked like the federal government of Nigeria working hard to push the Igbo out of Nigeria by various humiliations, various exclusions, various marginalizations, and all kinds of problems. We understood the youth and agreed that the Igbo man will not be slave in Nigeria. But we also agreed with them that slaves do not become presidents in their countries. If one of us is elected president in Nigeria, we should begin to look for Biafra within, not outside Nigeria. Before it's good. Don't mind my calling you the man is bad. Recall the days of Obara, Awolowo, Ahmadu Bello as premiers. Were they not operating virtually independently of the central government? This is the matter of restructuring, which 80% of Nigeria have agreed to. And those who do not agree are confusing restructuring with resource control. It will not take too long in the new Nigeria before every group in Nigeria will express pride in God's gift to us, and we make sure that we respect every group. The unexpected may happen soon, or the sagacious, deep-thinking, expert legalist Yoruba group are very close to exit from Nigeria. And when they nullify the imposed amalgamation fraud, exit from Nigeria will be free to all. Not even South Middle Belt Group, which has 4 zones out of 6, is thinking of staying back. Indeed, Yoruba and the Igbo are the most stupid of our peoples. They are really the problem of Nigeria. It is the choice of enmity that keeps Nigeria down. Yes. And they are not thinking of using the present easy situation to unite and stabilize Nigeria. How foolish can we be? We worship one God, the one God of Abraham. He created all of us. He chose to create me in Ibuku, where I became Igbo on arrival. By the same action, I became Christian on arrival. I chose none. You also chose none. And God did his will. Should religiosity and tribality concern us? Who is the guilty one? Only God is responsible. How foolish we are. Thank you very much.
Excellencies, my leaders, and my people, we are here gathered to give honor to whom honor is due, for a patriotic devotion and for an exalted character of a great Nigerian, and one who made huge sacrifice for us to have a nation called Nigeria. Mr. Chairman, and to all those of you who are able to put this together, God bless you for thinking it right to honor one of our own. I'll just make some requests, given what Chief Emmanuel said. First, to my brother, Minister of Aviation, Ezeife, please. The man being honored today was the first Minister of Aviation. It would really be appropriate to take that building of Minister of Aviation and change it today to Basilica building. And to you, the Anambrelians, it would be really proper that that airport, the new airport, should be named after this great man, who must learn to give honor to whom honor is due. Again, he made a request, Mr. President, Ngige, representing Buhari. There's something we attach as Igbo culture, very important, when somebody makes a last request at the point of death. And he requested that the president should please not honor him in any way, but honor him by releasing his son, Nnamdi Kanu. My kindly request to say to Mr. President, now that he's dead, he's no more alive, he made that last request. May we honor him by bringing Nnamdi Kanu out for the purpose of peace, demonstration, and dramatization in the Federal Republic. But to this great man, I don't think honoring him means saying tribute. The best tribute we can give to Basilica is the tribute of Review our Nation. But gentlemen, I know that for every sunrise there must be a sunset, and for every journey that has a beginning must have an end. In other words, his end has come. But he's not dead. He's simply transited. But let me say as I feel, I have not died before, and I don't want to plan to die soon. Now, but I do know that Mbazika Amechi must have been received by the likes of Awolowo, Nnamdi Azikiwe, Tafawa Balewa, Ahmadu Bello, and the host of those great leaders. And I'm sure a day like this is the day they are receiving him into the world beyond. And there's a meeting now going on as we're talking now. I'm just imagining that, not that I've been there before. And some of the things they're doing was to review this nation called Nigeria. And I heard Ahmadu Bello speaking with a loud voice. What is really happening to this country? What is happening to our nation? Why are there crises everywhere and everything? Why is there so much killings and so much bloodletting, so much disunity? And I can hear Zeke crying out and say, well, this is not the Nigeria we all thought and fought. We're praying to have a better Nigeria. But I have Mbazika Ahmed saying, I just came from Nigeria. And what is going on is about 2023 election. That there was some kind of injustice in the whole equation. Because till today, no Igbo man has become the president of Federal Republic of Nigeria. And just to well, so to honor a man like this today, I think we should say to Nigerians, for the sake of those great men and women who came from the Igbo land, let us look at the Igbos. Don't throw the Igbos away. Throwing Igbos away might be throwing away the destiny of this country. Let's not see Igbos as non-performers and those who like war and violence. They're the peacemakers. And they are the only one in this country who can travel 1,000 kilometers away from their village, going to another state, developing the economy and the local economy. Those people cannot. But what I please Nigeria to be fair to the Igbo, Igbo should also be fair to themselves. But them, okay, you should get it.